Of 6 finals here for the 2019 Rotax Max Euro Trophy Junior Max season, and we come to our last of 11 minutes plus an additional lap races here from Adria, where we started back in late May, to Kristianstad in the middle of July. Now we're here in the first weekend of September in Wackersdorf. Your grid is as follows. Olli Pilka starts from pole position with Mike van Vugt, the reigning and defending champion, and I think pretty much might have the title sewn up right now. He starts on second place. Behind is Maurice Schmeiss and Lucas Schoenmakers, with Danny van Dijk and Silas Ritter rounding up the top 3 rows. Gianni Andrisani in the 246 will line up alongside Marcel Sermach from Poland on row 4. The number 247 of Milan Ritter and the 226 of Nikita Genza round out the top 10. Valentin Klus in the 211 and Morris Schuring in the 214 round out row number 6, ahead of Christian de Klein in the 299, with Jeffrey Fixer in the 255. Ethan Kurtzi from South Africa in the 258 is on 15th on the inside of row 8, alongside the Netherlands' very own Dante Rapangi in the 243. Vilgot Edquist starts all the way down in 17th on the inside of row 9, alongside the 209 of Marcel Reisenberger. Tobias Poschik in the 221 and the treble 2 of Zen Rudenberg complete the top 20, and rounding out the grid is Alexander Abskava from Georgia, Charlie Wirtz from Austria, Flint Schuring from the Netherlands, and Kai Rielertz from Belgium. The red lights are on the starting gantry for one last time here in Junior Max action in 2019. 11 minutes set on the timer, set to count down the minute we go lights out, and then we will have one final lap of the season. 3 finals down, 3 to go, and Junior Max is the first to conclude their season. So it's Pilker on pole, Van Vugt alongside, Schmeiss, Schoenmakers, Van Dijk, Silas Ritter, Gianni Andrisani, Marcel Sermach, Milan Ritter, Nikita Genza. That's the top 10. Do we go lights out? Yes! And Pilker is in first. Mike Van Vugt already down into second, or down into third place it looks like, as there is a sea of colour heading into turn 4 for the very first time. And at the moment, Mike Van Vugt has just gone up the inside of Maurice Schmeiss, who got past the Dutchman in the initial start phase. But Van Vugt now up into second position. Pilker's got a huge lead, probably in the tune of about 6 to 8, maybe even make that 10 kart lengths. Lucas Schoenmakers up into 4th position now as the field makes its way through turn 11 for the very first time. And there's some great little overtakes happening. Christian de Klein, I think, has just got past either Valentin Klus or Schuring in the 214 for position. Leaders come across the start-finish line. Gap between Pilker and Van Vugt, 0.8 of a second. Then it's a further 0.3 or so back to Maurice Schmeiss, Lucas Schoenmakers, Danny van Dijk round out the top 5 thus far. Silas Ritter still holding station in 6th, ahead of Gianni Andrisani from Germany. Then it's Marcel Sermach, Milan Ritter, and Nikita Gens has dropped all the way down into 16th, which means that the number 214 of Morris Schuring is ahead of Christian de Klein in the 299 in 10th position. Valentin Klus and Vilgot Edquist, along with Alexander Abskava, have made up positions. Abskava in 14th ahead of the 221 of Poschik. Charlie Wirtz has made some inroads, as has Kai Rielertz. Wirtz now up into 20th. Rielertz up into 22nd. As Jeffrey Fixer rounds out the 24 strong as the leaders come through the final corner. Pilker has a lead, but it looks to be truncated by Van Vugt, and it's been halved. Pilker did a 51.918. Van Vugt puts in, as in customary fashion from the young Dutchman, 0.4 of a second quicker, puts in the fastest lap of the race at 51.519. So Van Vugt looking to make sure that he ends as we've had. Now that is the 246. That's Gianni Andrisani off at turn 6. What disaster for the German. Didn't really see what happened there. So he's just gone straight on and he's just explaining to the marshalling team what's happened. So double waved yellows at turn 6. So just making sure Gianni's up, he's unassisted and walking away from the cart, so that's a very good sign there. 8 minutes 24 to go, plus an additional lap. Van Vugt is closing on Pilker yet again, as Milan Ritter now sets the fastest lap of the race at 51.277. Van Vugt was over a 10th quicker. Van Pilke. Behind them, Danny Van Dijk's got his way up past Lucas Schoenmakers for third place. Maurice Meis and the 2:44 of Silas Ritter now completes the top 6 with Marcel Sermach, Milan Ritter. It looks like we've got Morris Schuring and Alexander Abskarva now having made their way up into the top 10. Schuring in 9th, Abskarva in 10th. Wirtz also making some great inroads here, and he's closing on the number 211 of Valentin Klus for 14th position. Great fight back from the young Austrian. So at the moment, Edquist, his hopes of a title, I think, have pretty much been dashed. He's down in 17th position. So Andresani not taking any further participation. It's a real shame for the young German on home soil here at Wackersdorf. So Pilke, and it's closing up between the top 3. Van Vugt is no longer alone behind Ollie Pilke. Great work from Danny Van Dijk. He said he wanted to get into the top 3 when I spoke to him on the grid just a few moments ago, and he's trying to make clear his intentions. And the 3 behind are closing too. That's Lucas Schoenmakers, Maurice Meis, and Silas Ritter. So they make their way through turn 13 into turn 14, put the throttle clean to the floor, and are not. They're going full throttle through turns 1, 2, and 3. As that's a great move from Danny Van Dijk up the inside of Mike Van Vugt, and it looks like Lucas Schoenmakers trying to have a great battle with Silas Ritter and also Maurice Meis. That's for 4th place. So that's a great battle there. As looks like Ritter's at the back of that 3-cart train. And it's the 2:47 of Milan Ritter that sits a little bit further back. It is being followed by Marcel Sermach. And then we got Flinch, then we got Morris Schuring, Alexander Abskarva. Charlie Wirtz has got past Valentin Klus for 14th and now is in the points. So at the moment, as it stands, Pilke leads, Van Dijk 2nd, Van Vugt in 3rd. Then it's the likes of Schmeis, Schoenmakers, the 2 Ritters in 6th and 7th, Sermach in 8th. So Schoenmakers now in 4th, ahead of Maurice Schmeis. You've then got the 2:44 of Silas Ritter, followed by Milan Ritter, Marcel Sermach, Maurice Schuring, Alexander Abskarva. Then we've got Poschik, who started all the way down in 19th position, now up into 11th, ahead of Nikita Genser. And you've also got the 2:43 of Dante Rapagne, Charlie Wirtz, and Valentin Klus. That's the top 15. We're now past the half-time distance, 5 minutes and 20 seconds to go here on the clock, plus an additional lap. As the lead has changed, and it's Danny Van Dijk that's stolen it from Ollie Pilke. So we have the Netherlands in front, Poland in 2nd, the Netherlands followed again by the Netherlands, then Germany, and then followed by Denmark. So that is effectively 4 different nationalities of the 16 represented here this weekend in the top 6. So Pilke was trying to put the feelers out on Van Dijk, who takes a wider line coming out of the turn 4. And then keeps ahead, as now it's going to be a 6-way scrap for the lead. With 4 minutes and 40 plus an additional lap left remaining in the Junior Max season for 2019, as Danny Van Dijk takes the briefest of glances over his right shoulder to see where Ollie Pilke is in relation to the back bumper of his kart. So gap between Van Dijk and Pilke at the moment is just under 0.3 of a second. Fastest lap, however, is by the young man in 14th, Charlie Wirtz, on an absolute flyer at the moment. 50.815 is his fastest lap, and he is trying to close on Dante Rapagne for 13th place. He's about and he is past him, and he's got another 0.7 of a second in front of him, Nikita Genser. So Wirtz really on the move, as there's a great move there from Silas Ritter up the inside of Maurice Schmeis to take 5th from the number 210. As the lead has changed again, it's back in the hands of Ollie Pilke. So Pilke retakes the lead with 3 minutes and 37 plus an additional lap to go on the clock. So the top 4 starting to break away, and a little bit further down the order, Alexander Abskarva is leading quite a big train of karts, as it's side by side a little bit further behind the Georgian. As the Georgian gets overtaken, looks to be Morris Schuring in the 2:14 that's just got past him, which he has. And Charlie Wirtz really trying to close up on those in front, and is pretty much on the back of Nikita Genza in the 226th. And has Wirtz made the move? Looks to be the case, as Genza's tried to go up the inside of the Austrian through turn 6. Did not have the room to make the move happen, as it's changed again between Ritter and Schoenmakers for 5th and 6th place. And so Wirtz having a really good race. He's very quick indeed. He's just on a 51.1. And that was on lap number 6. We're now on the completion of lap number 10, as it is a 4-way brawl at the front of the field. Pilker leads, Van Voost now in second, 2/10 adrift, and is closing. Oh, that was very, very squirrely going through turn 3 for Van Voost, as Van Dijk sends it up the inside. Could Schmeiss go through too? No, doesn't happen before they hit the entrance into turn number 5, and we did have briefly double waved yellows there off of turn number 4. So Wirtz really fancying getting into the top 10. The Austrian's got a chance of doing it. So ahead he's now got, looks like Nikita Genza has got past Charlie Wirtz again for position, as we are fast approaching the last 90 seconds plus an additional lap. So leaders coming through, Pilker, Van Dijk, Van Voost, and then Schmeiss. That's the top 4. A little bit further back is Lukas Schoenmakers with the number 244 of Silas Ritter, keeping pace with the Dutch driver. And there is an absolute sea of colour just at the bottom part of the top 10. Charlie Wirtz now in 10th position, closing on Nikita Genza, who is going up the order. Alexander Abskava from Georgia now up into 7th position, ahead of the 247 of Myron Ritter. Leaders now come through turn 10 on the short blast down to the penultimate hairpin on the circuit here at Wackersdorf. The gap between Pilker and Van Dijk last time was 3/10. Could be very, very similar this time around. And no, it looks a little bit closer, but Van Voost is getting a real advantage now. He's going to get the slipstream on Van Dijk, and he's going to go up the inside of him into turn 3, which he does cleanly. Van Dijk could counter-attack, but loses out momentum as Schmeiss goes up the inside of the Dutchman into turn number 4. This is allowing Lukas Schoenmakers to battle for, I think, probably at least 2nd position, as the time is fast ticking away. 25 seconds plus 1 additional lap left on the clock in the Junior Max season. So they come through turn 10, the short blast up to turn 11. What looks to be the penultimate time, I feel, as the timer now is on 10 seconds. So this time it will be last lap. As Van Voost, I think, now, could he have a last-ditch attempt at getting past Pilker to seal his second title with a victory? Could be very much on, because here we go, final lap in Junior Max for 2019. He's not going to get the run on him, or is he? He could get it through down into turn 4. It's just depends on how brave Van Voost was on the brakes. He was sensible there. He knows that he doesn't need to win, as it's side by side. It looks like Van Dijk's lost out big time, down into 6th position. So the leaders now come through the triple right-hander at 7, 8, now 9 for the final time, into the left at 10. As the battle for 4th clearly waging on, with Schoenmakers leading that one ahead of Ritter and Van Dijk. But now for the final time, the checkered flag is being prepared for the conclusion of the 2019 season. And Van Voost is just saying, let's just go forward, shall we? And here we go, checkered flag's about to wave. It's going to be 2 for 2 for Ollie Pilker, but professionally speaking, Mike Van Voost has done the double in Euro Trophy history. Last year's inaugural champion, and professionally speaking, he's done it again. The youngster from Voxham in the Netherlands, what a great job. Knew how to keep it planted all the way through. Thought, I could go for the win, but I'm still going to be happy with 2nd. He started 2nd, he finished 2nd. He provisionally takes the title. Well done, Mike Van Voost. So what a race. One retirement, unfortunately, with Gianni Andesani not making it to the end, having exited on the very first lap, first couple of laps. But Ollie Pilker takes 2 from 2 here at the season finale at Wackersdorf with your provisional 2019 champion, the defending and now who's successfully defended his title, Mike Van Voost from the Netherlands, finishing exactly a quarter of a second behind the eventual race winner. Morris Schmeiss, Lucas Schoenmakers and Danny Van Dyke completes a 2-3-4-5 for JJ Racing. Ahead at the number 244 of Silas Ritter, Alexander Abskava, Nikita Genza, Meinen Ritter. Great job from Charlie Wirtz, who started on the penultimate row of the grid in 22nd, finished in 10th place. Vilgot Edqvist, it was close but not enough. The Swede had to settle for 11th place at the end of the season, ahead of Marcel Sermach, Dante de Pagna, Ethan Kurtzy. Nice job from Kai Rilletz from last to 15th and picking up the last point. Marcel Reisenberger, Valentin Klus, Flint Schuring, Christian de Klein, Jeffrey Fixer, Morris Schuring, Zen Rudenberg and Tobias Paschik being the last of the 23 classified finishers as Junior Max comes to a close in 2019.